What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome. Happy Sunday night. College football's in session. Good one right now. There in Las Vegas uh, with USC and LSU. We're here with Steve Stutzman. Sunday night with Stutz. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Uh,
My
let's
pleasure. My
just start.
pleasure.
Hey, let's just start, Steve, with hear your thoughts on the opening win against Temple, 51-3.
I'll be honest, man. It was pedestrian like. I mean, I thought the defense did exactly what they wanted. What they needed to do. Obviously, we'd like to see the offense, uh, a little bit more impressive. But I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces that are going on. We knew this was going to happen going into the game. We still trying to get things out. Had some injuries. Supposed to get a couple guys back. We got running backs. We got, I guarantee you, we didn't run maybe a quarter of the plays that those guys that's in the playbook. So, yeah, I mean, you can look at it. We should have just dominated. But there's a lot of things that go in behind the scenes, blocking schemes and things like that. But overall, I mean, heck, I saw some really positive things. I like the special teams. I mean, we had our field goal kicker was, he didn't miss all extra points. Our coverages, we had a punt coverage touchdown, so that phase of the game looked good. Defense looked good. I thought Jackson Arnold did what he was supposed to do. He had a lot of short side fields, except for the first drive. He put one down there, but other than that, man, it's kind of like how I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, there's been a lot of talk on the O line. I see this comment here from Sooner fan. What's the OK breakdown today? Iker definitely concerned about the O line. When you said moving pieces, to me, that's O line to a T with what they're doing right now. I wonder with Hickman going down, how much that affected the other night. Moving Hatchet over, they moved a lot of guys around. Obviously, they're still trying to figure out what to do with the injuries they got and who's the best spots at each position. Uh, just theoretically, in your opinion, uh, O line wise, when does it really need to be the five they're going with? I mean, do you think by Tulane they got to have that set, or do you think Tennessee? I mean, Tennessee is going to be a brutal test with
No,
that defense.
I think you'll know that by the second half of next week, for sure.
Yeah,
I think Jake Taylor's coming back.
that'll help.
Uh, you might see the Sexton guard thing might move. He might be moving out. You might have the two Jakes as your bookends. I mean, there's the things. That's what beating ball does. I mean, I remember all this going down in 2021 when we didn't have any offensive linemen, and it was the same cycle of things. And then by the time it was crunch time, they had it pretty well figured out, and we settled in. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look, it is what it is. It is concerning, but you know, those guys get paid a lot of money to make those decisions. We just kind of get to sit back and talk about them.
Yeah, I know Jen asked, tried to find the Stutzman tailgate. Uh, I know Hunter found it. It's over by the Selman Brothers statue, correct?
It's right by the Selman Brothers statue, and it's right by where the new Walk of Champions is. It's kind of funny because it's actually so close. When they opened the bus, the first mug he saw was me. He's like, "Dude, you can't do that to me, man. You got to go down. You got to move it down." He goes, "Dude, I can't walk off the bus and see your mug, dude. It's too much. Please move it down about at least 5 or 6 bus lengths. Give me a chance to kind of get into the to the moment. But yeah, we're right there. We got a great spot, man. Great spot. So yeah, we got to see
Nice.
Hunter. I didn't recognize Hunter, man. I mean, he had a nice little haircut, man. I'm like, dude, what's
What's
going
up with
on?
that, Hunter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hunter said he's got
got the
it's school
haircut.
time
So,
now.
yep. Back to school. Got to get the professional cup. So, got that done before Friday's game.
Hey, I will say this: the gentleman for Fan Stop, I what
Kevin.
yeah, yeah, he stopped by. We had a great conversation, man. Great guy. Speaks highly of you. Really likes what everybody's doing. So it was really good to see. So yeah, man, we had a good time, man. Uh, we'll be there next week, man. Another night game. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Iowa Sooner says, Steve, your son is helping create a great culture by giving the walk-ons NIL money. Must be a proud papa. And I saw it even on CBS morning. I saw it on the CBS station as well, national news. That's awesome.
Oh yes, I did see it. Was it Nate Burleson on the
Yeah.
CBS equivalent of Good Morning America? Yeah, you know what? He had told me when he came back and he was doing doing all these like, hey man, uh, I want to give some back to the wall. This was months before. This wasn't anything that was uh, hyped or anything. He just wanted to give that back, and he knew that going into the season. And I'll tell you, we hang out. When those guys come over, there's a couple of it's kind of say. I really don't want to call them walk-ons. It seems like it's a diminishing. They're part of the team. So a couple of players that are not on scholarship, he hangs out with it. I mean, he really genuinely cares about those guys, and there's a lot of them that he hangs out with on the daily.
Hey, I want to address this. I've seen a few comments with this vanilla stuff, and you kind of hinted about it, Steve. But yeah, I understand you can be vanilla, and I get it. But when you're playing Temple and it's mano a mano on the O line, I think that's where the concern was. Because if you're vanilla in the run game, that's fine or whatever. You can still beat your man. I think that's where when somebody said Gabe was still concerned, I think that's what it is. You can be vanilla, but when you're playing a team like Temple, you should still dominate.
No, I agree. If it's if you got a guy across, you got to block the guy across. You got to blow him off the ball. I saw Gabe, Gabe and Teddy's, their podcast today while I was in the airport, and there's some schemes that that those guys get confused on and thinking because it's early, but at the end of the day, you're 6'5", 6'6", 315, 320, man. You should come off the ball blowing it away. And that's when it's a no-brainer because, there's nothing, you don't have to think about any checks, anything. The guy in front of you, just go to work.
Yeah. Hey, I get it, Jay, though. And I get what you guys are saying about you got to go to work. You got to beat your man mano a mano. But I do agree with the vanilla stuff that people are saying in this sense. If anyone thinks that's the offense you're going to see 5 weeks from now, you're kidding yourself. And I think that when Steve was saying a quarter of the playbook, like that was not Seth Luttrell's offense to a T, what you saw on Friday night. So when I hear the vanilla, I think more scheme-wise, more playbook-wise, not really some of the other stuff.
Well, usually when you do these non-cons, I won't speak on what Oklahoma, but typically, you cut your when you have your sheet of plays, it's probably maybe 10 plays, half are runs, half are base, they're all base plays, right? You can run them for any defense, and these are the base plays that you practice the different defenses that you're going to see because it was Temple's an unknown, right? They got so much turnover, you didn't really know what they're going to come at you with. So, but you had your base plays, your base pass plays that your base protection. So, yeah, not a whole lot to look into it. But end of the day, man, we got to get a little nastier for sure.
Brian Kelly getting ripped right now, it looks like. I don't know what the play call was, but people are bashing it right now.
Well,
Steve, real quick.
I know how you guys feel, man, but dude, I don't know, man. I kind of want USC to win.
I picked USC to win. I hope
I need him to. I want them to win because, dude, they're in front of us, dude. So, anybody that's above us, man, we can't have them. That's just the way I feel about it. But good game, though.
What were you going to say?
Crystal, thanks for the super.
I'll get to it after this.
She's got a question here. So I'd like to ask Dutch, what difference does he see in starting readiness between Jaden Jackson and David Stone, if any?
I think everybody saw the media stuff. It's just the way that the workmanship that he came in and I tell you, I'm not too far from this IMG Academy that's over in Bradenton, and those guys, it gets you ready for the next level. Every one of those guys that go to that academy are all D1 or they're right on the cusp of being D1. And so it's another one of those iron sharpening iron. And he's they both those guys are going to be great. Just for Jaden to just do a little bit, just a little bit more ahead. That's kudos to him, man, because that's no easy feat to be a true freshman coming in there, especially on that kind of what BV runs.
Hunter, did you have something? Because I got to defend myself here in a second. So
yeah, real quick, question from Chief T-Bird. Steve, who impressed you the most in Friday night's game for Oklahoma?
I tell you what, man, I like Jackson Arnold. Really, I thought he did an outstanding job, man. Because, man, remember the last time he played in front of the Sooner fans was in the bowl game, and that was it was a sour taste for everybody. So that's been weighing on him from December. So for him to come in and do what he needed to do, and and not have any turnovers and protect the ball. Don't want to see him run that much, but he's got to do what he's got to do if he's not if the blocking up front is on the defensive side. I tell you what, man, dude, you can say what you want, but Ethan Downs continues to deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, everybody, Ethan Downs, but he comes with it every game, man. He brings that passion, and he makes some big plays.
and one of those plays, he kind of overran the play he caused the fumble on. He kind of overran in the backfield. He had penetration in the backfield, and then you see the hustle, comes back on the play, strips the ball. That was phenomenal. Bobby, I got to say that I am pulling for LSU. I'm not going to deny that. And I told you why in the Discord. It's because if there happens to be something at the end of the season, if OU to beat LSU and USC's maybe third or fourth in the Big Ten, and it comes down to where maybe OU beat LSU, that's why I said it could end up helping OU in the long run. So, yeah, I do. That's why I got LSU.
You got to look at it, man, with the way the brackets are. It's going to be top 12 ranked. So you want to be in that, about 10, 11, 12, if anything. Maybe I'm wrong. It might be you want to be above 12. So anybody that's above us, we want them to get as many losses as they can, man. It's a whole different way to think. I know everybody's like, I want them undefeated when we see them. No, you not in this case. I don't think we want undefeated LSU when we go there for sure.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, 11-1. LSU is guaranteed to make the playoff in that scenario if they start the season 11-0.
Touchdown USC, baby.
Well, I'm rooting for USC just because I picked them, and I haven't got one game right all weekend. This would be my first win.
Jason, I'm with you, man. I got this. We have a Hard Rock app, and man, I completely got destroyed this week, and this was my last ditch effort to try to recover, to make a little recovery.
Hey, Gary asked after games are over, is it film time or family time at Casa de Stutzman?
Oh, it's all family time, man. Yeah. We head back and hang out and hope we love it. It's a much better situation when we're winning. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Oh,
a lot sure. They're talking about rolling out Arnold more. Arnold definitely first game. I know the bowl game was there too, but he did run more than I thought. He actually didn't dodge contact either. I thought maybe he would slide or try to maybe get out of bounds on the one scramble.
That first run where he went airborne, man.
They need to get him a slip and slide.
We need him down, man, down in a hurry. But yeah, I'll tell you what, man, he looks really good when he's running and throwing. He's athletic, man. He can. And you've seen, I'll say Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams could do that too, man. He could throw a missile on the run, man.
What'd you think of the two-back set? I think they showed it 3 or 4 times. All 3 or 4 times they ran it, they got really good positive yardage. I'm a huge fan of the two-back set. It was interesting because Cade McIntyre was the tight end on that. Every time they went to the two-back, Cade McIntyre there in the slot and the tight end.
I like it, man. I like it when you can show some different formations and get some positive, especially when you got the running game. It just sets up everything else. That's when you're not having the running game, the play action and the RPOs is pretty much ineffective, man. So I like it.
Hey, Tatum looked good, I thought.
Dude, that guy he didn't, there wasn't no second guessing when he got the ball. He was hitting the hole. You know,
No.
he was there going to be a hole? He was going to make a hole.
That's right.
Well,
I liked what I saw. And I was surprised second series he's out there. I was kind of surprised by that, to be honest. But
Yeah.
He
Well,
looked good.
they got you got to remember, so you got 4 games and you got to
Yeah.
get as much film as you can on these guys, man. So why not use these 4 games, get them some reps and see? I mean, that's going to be a big difference. Do you know whether you redshirt them or not?
And wouldn't you say that from game 1 to game 2, sometimes that's your biggest improvement because you do have actual tape of the way you
Oh,
played,
there's no
the way
no
you played
doubt,
yourself.
no
You can
doubt.
see it.
No
So,
doubt, man. They're the guys I was talking to Danny today. They were in there watching the game tape. You know, they're in there with their their groups and they're watching the tape. And then tomorrow the coaches will go over that. But no, they're looking at what they did wrong, what they can do better for sure. And then that'll be because you can see it. Game speed is a lot different than when you make those those little issues in practice. You see it. Okay, I see it now. Here, it kind of it's more of a click. So yeah, I agree. That should be a big jump next week.
hey,
Tatum RB1 by Tennessee. Chief says Sooner fan says that I just hear that right. LSU has not won a season opener since 2019. I will say this in defense of LSU: they almost always play an elite opponent early in the year.
Yeah,
Well, this is
FSU was it last year? FSU beat them,
and the year before. This is
yep.
3 straight years of a Sunday night game for LSU and those
Man,
neutral site games.
I will say
Nussmeier's
this
pretty
about
good, though.
Greg God has a comment about Lincoln Riley greater than BV. Listen, here's what we can say: Lincoln Riley getting a new defense coordinator and just change the scenery there is going to help them immensely. But until someone wins a natty, I think the jury's out on everything there. So,
Yeah, I gotta agree with that, man. You gotta go. You gotta go to the trophy case.
absolutely, yeah. Someone said 2019 was the year they. Oh yeah, that's right. Joe Burrow. I mean, that was just that team was different. I'm sorry, that team was different
No,
on both
that's
sides.
probably that's got to be top 5 of all time college teams.
Has to be.
Has to be.
I
Man.
would even put them higher than that. Like,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
team was just so
you can't
dominant.
make it. You can't argue with anybody that wants to put those top 5, man. There's no way. They were
Justin Broyles never recovered from that game, guys. Sooner fans rode Justin Broyles from that game on, and you look back, he didn't have a shot in that game, but then he never kind of rode that down. They just kept riding him on that.
Wow.
What about this? Sooner fan says, how much interaction have you had with BV? Your thoughts on him as a coach?
I've had quite a bit. We've had some sit downs, and every time I go up there for the coaches when he has his ladies clinic, and we get to sit down and chat. Great human being, great guy. I like his energy. He really truly cares about his players. Now I will say this, the learning curve as a head coach from year 1 to where he's now is, if you were to sit down and talk to him candidly, he'd tell you he learned quite a bit, because it's really tough when you're running like you're running the defense, and now you have to embrace every part of being a head coach, and you got to relinquish that, and you can't, there's certain things you can't do like you used to do, and you gotta have all that. So I think and I'm sure he's had a lot of guys to talk to, Dabo, a lot of head coaches that he could, he's gotten advice from, but I think he's done, you can just see the growth that he's had with that, and great guy, man. I know everybody on that team will run through a wall for that guy, that whole staff for sure.
Hey, I love that we finally got to hear from Zach Alley after the game. Really cool to hear from him. And can you imagine? I cannot imagine being the play caller with Brent Venables kind of as your boss. You talk about I would be intimidated. Like, what would he want me to call here? But it sounds like I mean, I thought he called a great game. I mean, they threw a few blitzes in there. I thought it was really good. He played a ton of guys on defense. I thought it was a great performance for him as his first, quote, defensive coordinator called game at Oklahoma.
Well, there's a reason why he's been dubbed the mini BV, because he thinks like him, talk like him. So when he's calling a game like him, there's not going to be much that BV can say, right? Because he's doing the same things, that he's an extension of what he's accumulated over, just watching and talking and the game plan with those guys. So yeah, he did that. That does a great job, man. It was good. I'm sure he was glad to get that one under his belt for sure.
Crowd surfing in the locker room too. They spun him around up there. I saw that.
Yeah, he got the game ball. They gave him the game ball. That was funny.
How much time's left in this game, guys?
Let's see here. I got a ticker on the bottom side.
Got to be getting close.
3 minutes.
Yep.
Man, that's a good one. Jay, you guys, if you talk about what, go ahead, Jay. I was gonna. Can you hear him, Hunter?
Somebody froze.
I cannot.
He froze. This is he always sells. Houston played 2 quarterbacks this week, guys. They yanked Donovan Smith, which I was actually shocked.
The second guy came in. Actually, if you look at his stats, he actually did pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're going to start.
I gotta believe they're going to roll out with him. I can't. Did you guys watch that game?
I did not watch it. No,
I didn't catch any of it. I saw the box score. And all that,
it was brutal. It was brutal, man. UNLV looked like they were a top five team in the country against them. It was. I mean, it was total domination. I mean, Houston didn't even have a chance to score, and they scored there late. It wasn't good. It was not good, and that's bad, because if you remember last year, man, we were all watching that Houston Texas game, and they were one call away from Houston putting us in the into Dallas.
And Donovan Smith was unbelievable in that game.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so you got that game this weekend, and I know what everyone really on Sooner fans' mind is going to be the offense and the offensive line. But if the defense, look, underappreciated, I don't care who you play. 6 takeaways is unbelievable. A lot of good tackling. You saw a few overran plays, but the aggressive nature was there. They were gang tackling, wrapping up, hitting, helmet on the ball. They played a lot of guys. I tell you, Grayson Halton played excellent the other night.
Oh man, he did. Yeah, he did. He kind of said, "Hey man, don't forget about me." Everybody's talking about everybody else. He's like, "Out here, look at me, man." He went off.
I hate what ifs, Ron. I hate what ifs. If they score 10 points, they score 10 points. Hopefully, Houston has 0 or 7.
Yeah.
I mean, for Holton over the last really 2 years now, very limited opportunities. But last year, special teams, he was making a name for himself. And then to get 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble in week 1. And again, not as much playing time as he would probably like.
You know who Marcus Strong is? He's the sack leader for Oklahoma right now. He is.
Is he really? Yeah, exactly.
He got 2 like on the last drive. He's got 2 sacks.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's funny. No, Halton, man, he's gonna. We need him in that rotation, man. We need those guys bringing it, coming up. It takes a lot out of you, man. If you're able to take on a double team and keep everybody off that second line, man, you're gonna need 4 guys that can go, and not drop off. So that's exciting.
Yeah, they rotated well across the board. I think 90 players had at least one snap, and defensive line rotated a lot. Linebackers rotated a lot. I mean, if you look at the snap counts, pretty even across the board for linebackers this week.
Hey, curious on the helmet communication, because obviously, in the helmet, Danny. But when he goes out, how are they switching those quickly if a guy's got to come out?
You know what? That's a great question. I asked him how he liked the helmet. He's like, man, it's really hard to hear, uh, but it does help. But he says he's still trying to get used to it. I don't know if they do switch. That's a great question. I don't know if they switch it out or if the guys that would have it just have it activated. You know, when they go on there, they activate whoever's help. You know, whoever's supposed to get the call.
Yeah, and I don't know if they do either, but I did notice when Danny wasn't out, there was some confusion out there, some when he wasn't out there. So that's why I was brought it up, because I didn't know if someone else had it in their helmet or if no one had it or what.
Yeah.
You get one per side of the bowl.
Yeah, it's one guy.
NFL, everyone in that position group gets one, but college football, it's 2 total. So
of course you know the stat, Hunter.
I had to confirm that.
AI. His nickname's AI, Steve. That's what we call him.
Yeah, that's what he does, man. He's the man.
New alternate uniforms this week, guys.
Is that this week?
It is.
Yeah.
Those are the throwbacks, right? From the 50s or 50s,
oh yeah.
60s?
Yeah.
There's Jay. Jay's back.
Hey, I'm trying. My internet's bugging. Hey, I got a question. Watching that LSU game earlier tonight, did y'all see the call on the defensive line where they called delay of game because they moved before the snap? Yeah. That's a new rule. And Grinch's defense did it all the time where they moved real quick.
Well, they moved, but they shouted shift in the middle of it. You can move, but you just can't back it up with a shout.
Okay, is that what happened?
You're giving shift right there late, and then they're moving it, so you got a vocal cadence, and then you got movement too. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because you noticed in the game, I don't know if you watched, they did it again, but there was nobody said anything. They did shift.
Greg God says Bill Beatemo needs to make game adjustments if O-line struggles. Now, I will say that seems to be something that they don't like to do in game. Is that because of a position group? It's more difficult to do, guys? Or I mean, he obviously makes adjustments because if you look at development things, he's adjusted a lot over the years. They're talking specifically in game, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, when you got your center go down, when you have guys moving around quickly, I don't know how much Again, I'd be lying if I told you, but typically, like I said, when you have those base plays, it shouldn't be that hard if he needed to plug and play for this past week. But I don't know what he's doing. What he sees going down. For next week. And like I said, I saw this. You guys remember in 21? This is exact same scenario when we came out of the Tulane game. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, we need to get this figured out." It's pretty similar.
Hey, and someone says, "Jerm, who do you have starting on your offensive line?" I'm just a fan, but here's who I would have. I mean, I don't think Hickman's going to be ready Saturday with the high ankle sprain or whatever. If he's in a boot, I'm just guessing it. He may be. I'm just saying if he's not, Hatchett will probably be center. I would book in the 2 Jakes on the edge, and I would go with Heath Azida at one guard. I think he did pretty good the other night. Got great size, and of course, Babecci, I think, was probably one of the best ones there the other night.
Yeah. I know off season. I know you and Hunter big time Bates guys.
Like, and I still am.
But do you think it's the injury bug, or do you think maybe they don't trust him there right now? What do you think it is, guys?
I think it's a combo, Jay. The other night they went to Hatchett. Hatchett has seemed to be that's his more of a natural position with center. Now I thought Bates was going to roll in there. They showed Bates on the sideline. He was practicing snaps.
He played some. Sure. He played some.
And if it was an injury deal, he probably wouldn't have played in the second half. Bates did come in, so I don't know.
It was the final few drives that he got in, but kind of along the same lines of Jerm. I mean, being banged up through some of fall camp, I think it
we're tied.
Makes more sense for Hatchett.
Tied
it up with we got 147 left.
The field goal kicker redeemed himself.
The LSU tied it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so now Riley's got his chance to go length of the field here and get.
That's it.
You do not kick the branch if you're LSU. Got to keep him away from.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer, man. That guy was electric.
Miller Moss has played well, guys. He's not a guy that he's a guy that probably won't lose you a game. That's safe to say.
Yeah,
he's not going to take a whole lot of risks like Caleb Williams did, but he's pretty accurate.
No, he's done very well. I mean, he's taking some shots. I mean, his yards per throw is pretty good right now.
Hey, Ron, Hatchett or Bates shouldn't be starting at OU. Bates was highly recruited guy. I mean, I don't think Bates just can't play football. I do think he's young, and they still got to develop him. If you look at Bill Beatenbow in his past of coaching, he doesn't typically play very young O-linemen. I mean, even Caden Green, that was a shock last year in game 4 that he started. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's playing a young lineman. It doesn't happen that often. I do think some of these guys, like you mentioned, Ozida, though, Jeremy, in his, what is he, second year now? Second year, right?
Second year, I believe.
Yeah. Some of these guys, it may be time to give them a shot. I mean, Jake Taylor's second year. I think Jake Taylor's one of their best linemen. They really need him back healthy, big time. I think
Jake Taylor is third year. Isn't it right?
He is.
Oh, is it third year?
He came in with Canick. Yeah.
Okay.
It was great seeing Canick get the scoop and score. I was all for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely no.
He actually almost had another punt block. I thought he was going to rough the punter, but he played. Hunter, how many downs did he play? We were talking about the other night.
For you.
Hey,
16 to 20 on linebacker.
Hey guys, you know what? One position last year that everyone, maybe in the first years, everybody's been trying to figure out the cheetah position. I think they got that pretty locked up. Kendall Dolby looks really good at cheetah.
No, man, he does a great job in his specialties in that zone coverage, man.
Yeah,
he can disguise. He does a good job of disguising like he's coming, and he'll settle back in and really create some eye candy for those quarterbacks and bait them into some stuff.
Yeah, he did that on that interception for Kanai, the tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? Did you watch him? He was throwing a little tantrum there on the side. I'm like, dude, turn around, man, make a block. You might return it for a touchdown, man. But
that's right, man. Hey, Chuck's asking the question about record. I know last week you had predicted. I think you said 10-2. Is that you're sticking to 10-2?
Yeah, I'm still at 10-2, Chuck. I mean, call me crazy, man. I just until I'm gonna go 10-2 until I can't. And the only reason it'll make me go from 10-2 is if we lose 3.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I asked this the other night on the live. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. This defense supposed to be really good, looked really good game 1. There's been so many years where their offense has carried the team. Okay, realistically, how far can this defense take this team if the offense, say, isn't as good as it's been in previous years? Like, how far do you think they can carry them?
I mean, as long as you got a chance in every single game, where you're not sitting there going, "Oh my God, how we come back from 14 with 4 minutes?" If you can hold the opponent to 20 or under, I feel like you got a shot in every single game, especially with the teams we're playing. And I watched a lot of football this weekend, and I really don't think, with our schedule, that I think we're going to be, the defense will have us in every game. Just seeing what I'm seeing and what everybody else has. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's going to be a good. I mean, I think defense is good for 7 wins just by themselves.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. And then you got to believe that we're going to be able to do some things offensively. But the defense is definitely the key to stymie. When you stymie those opposing offenses, man, I got to believe that means we're gonna get more opportunities to score. So I like that.
Yeah, and what you got to hope is, I mean, they got 6 turnovers, most since 2003 in game 1. They didn't do a ton with the turnovers offensively wise. I think they got some short fields there. When you're playing in the SEC, the big games, if they get the turnovers, that's why as an offense you got to capitalize. You got to put the ball in the end zone.
Well, hey, Seth Luttrell post-game presser, and of course he picked out the positives first because there were some negatives on the offense with the O-line. But 5 out of 6, I think, in the red zone on touchdowns. I mean, that's winning football. There's some stats that you can look at. One of the stats, Jay, we talked about in the stats by the numbers. First down defense the other night, guys. First down yardage on defense was 1.75. 42 yards allowed, 24 plays. First down plays ran by Temple. That is the defense. If you're going to hold teams to 3 yards or less on first down, get them to 2nd and 7, it changes the thing on defense. And I think that's maybe the biggest stat there on defense, if they can continue that.
Oh man, no doubt. That's yeah. I mean, we all know that you guys, everybody can look at stats and build your own narrative how you want to. So, but when you look at defensive numbers and what you did with those teams, it really is more glaring at what you're doing. Just what you said, Jeremy. With things like that is huge, and that's something you can build off of for sure.
Tyler, I understand. Yeah, he says, Bobby, they were good on 4th down. But offensively, OU was 1 for 12 on 3rd down. If they go 1 for 12 in the SEC, they aren't winning many offensively.
No.
You got to be
but
bad.
I will say this. So what was their 4th downs?
It was like 3 for 3 or 4 for
3
4.
for 3. 3
for
for 3.
So that's good. That's a positive, right? I mean,
That is
yeah.
a positive.
that means you kept drives going. So we'll spin that.
You're right, Greg God. 1 for 12 is ridiculous. No Sooner fan
is
going to no football fan would say ever that 1 for 12 is good on 3rd downs. Absolutely pathetic. USC is in field goal range, it looks like someone says.
I just see a flag, man. I don't know what's going on, but
it's going to come down to the kicker. Guys have been hitting each other all night, and the kicker's going to have the chance to win it.
remember they already missed a 29. We wouldn't even be talking about it.
That's true. That's true.
There's the fan stop commenting. I know Steve talked about meeting Kevin there at the fan stop. Fan stop says they need Anderson back and Anthony to get healthy. I will agree. Anthony, it was good to see him out there. Never really went deep. Kind of just did possession type routes. They do need Nick Anderson back. Physical guy.
Man, how about Burks? I mean,
Burks is good.
He's as advertised, isn't he?
He is.
So when you get Nick back, you get you get some of these other things. I don't think how was Thompson? And I think did he have a drop or what did he?
It was a rough game for Brennan Thompson, to say the least.
And Hester played a bad game, 2 drops.
Yeah, we had a couple drops. So we'll get that, man. And if we can get Anthony and Anderson, man, with Burks, oh my goodness. And I hate, man, that Jalil's out, man, because man, that was a big play right off the bat. And he's a leader in that room too. So really hate to see that.
Yeah, I hated to see that. I thought he was going to have a breakout year. I mean, that just sucks. Burks looks like a guy that I would just want to hang out with. He seems fun.
Yeah. I got to ask about the tight ends because, Steve, the tight end position. And before we do, make sure you check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. Great apparel, great guy there, Kevin, running that. It's a great place. Check out their website. Tight ends. Bauer Sharp was used often. A lot more in the passing game than Stogner was last year for whatever reason. It was good to see the tight end being utilized.
I can tell you because you knew that because Luttrell had done that when he was at
North Texas.
At North Texas, and with Bauer and then Roberts, I got to talk to Roberts because he went to Baylor. For a little stretch there, so we got to do our little sick and bear thing. But good guys, man. That was good. So, what was the first touchdown of the gate? Who was it? It was Sharp, right?
Bauer Sharp, yeah.
Bauer
Who had that? I don't think any of us had that, did we?
No. I had Brennan Thompson on a deep route. I will say on that route,
I think on
that
Burks.
rollout, Jackson Arnold, I thought showed patience because he was one.
Oh my God! You see that touch he put on that? I mean, that was on the run to his right. Reading the defense, put it right over the guy's head, right into perfect. That was awesome.
And there was another play, guys, that stands out from Jackson Arnold to me. And again, I think the growth in decision making. He pump faked about a 5-yard hitch because he saw the guy was covered up, and he took off and ran for about 14 yards on that play. Pump faked it, saw it was covered up, and ran. That's growth.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't see him. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see him trying to force any throws into any tight windows.
Do
You
you
know?
you're
want him
right.
to? I kind of
No.
do.
It depends. It depends. Early, if it's early, okay, I can see that. But I think he's very self aware of what need, what needs to go. Let's go do this. Let's go back. Let's go back to the next play. Get it. We'll have another play instead of going the other way.
Yeah,
I
I
think what
thought.
I mean by that, what I mean by that, guys, is if you have a gunslinger mentality, how much do you want to rein it in to where guys are like
Touchdown.
thinking about it?
Touchdown. Sorry, USC.
Wow,
TD,
touchdown.
It's over,
How
baby.
how much time?
There's no
it's
time
over.
left. It's over.
Oh, they didn't kick a
Wow.
field goal.
They had LSU had a targeting and gave him a first down and they just ran it. 8 seconds left.
Oh
I
wow.
will say this about Lincoln Riley, guys. You remember when he was at OU? They did it against Texas.
Yep.
He would score at the end of halves and games. I'd be pulling my hair out thinking, call a timeout. And they'd always score with like no time on the clock.
He
He's
he is
phenomenal at that.
he is great managing the clock and
Yep.
running the offense. He's really good at it down the stretch of halves or games where you think, okay, they need to call a few timeouts and they don't, and they're fine. He's great at it, and I mean, he is. I still think he's the best offensive mind in college football. I just do. I think he's unbelievable. And sometimes I think he coaches better as not expecting to win. I think he coaches better that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Like it. I don't know what him and the defensive coordinator had, but for all those years, man, I don't know why they were a package deal.
I
But
don't
anyway,
either.
we'll leave that. We'll leave that one alone. But
We'll,
hey,
we'll
man,
leave
let's
it
just
alone,
leave,
Steve. But hey,
we'll leave
the
that
fact that
alone, man.
the fact that he took Grinch with him to USC didn't even make sense to me. I just,
I agree. I agree.
but yeah, maybe he gets. I don't know much about this defensive coordinator they got, but they
Well,
seem
he
to
was
have
the one
played
that
better defense
he was at
tonight.
he was at UCLA. He came from UCLA, and
Okay.
yeah, got him transformed. Um, hey, man, this gets me
Shoot.
back. This gets me back on the winning track, man. This one,
Me too.
I put a little bit on this one.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, this
There
gets me
you
If
back.
go.
LSU somehow starts sliding a little bit, people are saying Brian Kelly won't last, and that would be interesting. They're not going to put up with losing seasons if they're not even in the playoff conversation. I will say that.
No, I
Is he
agree, man.
overrated?
Nah, I think he's a good offensive coach.
You know what? I think he's a very good coach. I just don't like the persona or the way he projects himself. Myself personally, to me, watching him over the years at his different landing spots.
You didn't
Hey,
like when he tried to talk Cajun and dance at the.
Man, I live right up by Louisiana, and I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing, man? I grew up an hour away from Shreveport, and
oh, okay.
I'm like, dude, man, what is going on? Yeah, crazy. That's funny.
Hey, did you watch any of the LSU Notre Dame last night? So,
You
or
talking
not
A&M?
LSU, but A&M Notre
Oh,
Dame.
oh my
It looked
God,
like
heck yeah.
Elko at the end of the game. Elko, you can already tell he's feeling heat over there. I mean, I know he doesn't have heat on him, but he knows that's a big time job, and he was not happy last night.
No, but who in the heck said Wegman wasn't freaking first round draft choice?
Unbelievable.
A lot of
Dude,
people are still keeping them up there. I don't get it.
what?
That was
Man,
awful.
it was bad, man. I feel bad. They had. I think A&M could, despite the quarterback play, they didn't have those 2 turnovers, man. They easily could have won that game. They easily could have won that game.
I'm surprised Riley Leonard didn't go to A&M with Elko.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
That's shocking. I will say this: you can rip offensive mind, Mez. On here, I see your comment about Brian Kelly. How can you lose this by a poor offensive mind? Nussmeier, according to the comments on here, Nussmeier had a wide open touchdown and missed him. So I don't think that's a bad play call.
no,
Yeah.
but when I think of offensive minds, I do not think Brian Kelly, Jeremy. Sorry.
No, I agree.
Sorry.
Chip Kelly.
I don't know
I
where
guess Chip Kelly's the offensive mind, right?
I don't know what you're basing that off of, Brian Kelly, but
He's had good teams, Jay. I won't argue with you, Jay. It's too late. But Steve, what are your thoughts this weekend then? OU Houston, primetime kick, 6:45. What changes, if any, you think that there'll be?
I think you're going to see another dominant defensive performance. I think you're going to see probably a little bit more. The rotation will be a little bit more steady instead of trying to get everybody into the game. I think you'll see a little bit more of that, a little bit more of the game of who's going to be. And then, obviously, we got some guys coming back on the offensive on the O line, so we'll see some more. We could all, I'm sure, we'll all be speculating all week on what's going to happen. So, on who's going to be where, and then we'll see what. Bill rolls out with on Saturday night, man. It'll be good. I don't expect anything less. Houston's not that good, so
No,
the main thing we want to do is get there, work our fill our holes, get better, and get out of there healthy, man. That's the most important thing is healthy.
Yeah. Well, Steve, thanks again, man, for joining us on Sunday night. Appreciate it. Crystal, thanks for the super. Surgeaholics, appreciate everyone on the comments tonight. And we'll see you guys next Sunday night. Everyone have a great Labor Day. Enjoy the holiday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Boomer.
Boomer.